Right, good afternoon, guys, and welcome to the Rangers Wire podcast number one. I'm your host, Gary, and I'm joined with Dex. Dex, how you doing, mate?
Good afternoon, Gary. Good to be here.
Just good to get back to talk Rangers again, innit?
I'm dying for the season coming back. I'm dying for it.
Haven't we all, mate? Especially how last season ended. New signings, McInnes and that, but McInnes isn't exactly breaking news. So we'll go into the five new summer signings. I just want to ask you first, what's your overall opinion on how the transfer window started for us?
Well, so far, I'm quite impressed. 5 signings, and more importantly, we're going for leaders. We've said for a long time now we need leaders in that team. We're basically going through a trophy drought. Finished third last season, which is unacceptable for any Rangers team, despite how good Hearts have been. So we need trophies, and with leaders, hopefully we're going to find trophies. I like the profile of the signings as well. You're going for a Scottish spine, Scottish manager, etc. For me, it's a good start. I mean, business isn't finished yet. We desperately need more players, ideally attacking players, in my opinion. But no much complaints for me so far.
I know, I agree, mate. You can clearly see with the signings and the links that he's kind of forging an identity there, isn't he? Like a leadership kind of guys who'll dig deep, guys who's got the minerals.
Yeah,
such.
100%. Players he trusts as well. Clearly, he's got Shankland, whether that was done before him, but he trusts him. That was his captain. McCrory, who he must know for previously, but being a Scottish player, also ex-Rangers.
I know, 100%. And that's what I'm just going to quickly go a quick overview of the signing. So, even Pandur, Dex Hull City goalkeeper, Croatian international, he's 26-year-old. Read some stats today, and by all accounts, he sounds like a very good shot stopper. I'm not going to be stat driven on this podcast. However, he faced the second most shots last season in the Championship, but he was the second best rated keeper in terms of goal prevention. So that clearly tells you this guy's a good shot stopper. So what does he bring that Jack Butland didn't have?
See, I've read a lot of reviews on him, and basically people compare him to Jack Butland. He's a good shot stopper. He might struggle collecting crosses, and the main critique is he's bad with the ball at his feet. But to be honest, people compare it to Jack Butland and say he's a good shot stopper, and this is no disregard to Jack Butland. He was a fan favourite at times. He was brilliant on his day, but towards the end, Jack Butland was barely even stopping the shots. I mean, when he was good, but see, when he was bad, things were just going right through him like he was a ghost. So I'm happy with it, and it's also like a sign of freshness. You've got a big figure, a fresh player in goals. He's experienced. The fans, his previous club liked him. I'm happy with it, and we love a Croatian.
Aye, no, yeah, absolutely. And a few things I just want to tell you, you're right. We always do say Butland's a good shot stopper. And I don't know if you remember last season, at the start of the season, I think both of us were, but Jack Butland at one point was the leading candidate for player of the season.
Yeah, remember
he was brilliant at one point in the season. Mm-hmm. But he had a massive decline, didn't he? And then obviously that run-in at the end of the split was just a disaster. And there was a couple of high-profile mistakes. We could see no, just all blame him. But he is a keeper and saying goals. And one of the things that really annoyed me was his distribution. Now, I'm going to compare him here to Ivan Pandur right now, because I know both of them, people label both distributions not good enough. However, the difference is Danny Rose played for the back. Mm-hmm. Derek McInnes, we'll touch on later, he's more pragmatic, he's more direct, no this tiki-taka of it or play for the back as much as that. So I don't think it's an important trait now. However, Pandur is younger as well. And I think Butland was a big confidence player. Once his confidence went, I think that's when it right downhill. He couldn't pick himself. So I'm, like yourself, I'm in the moon with that. Good signing. And Hull were actually really devastated to lose him. There was not really a lot of Hull fans on social media saying happy days. They were all like a wee bit gutted.
Yeah, which is rare these days when a player's leaving. Just to touch on what you said there, I'm glad you said that. Confidence player. See, some positions you can afford to have confidence players, maybe an attacker, the striker, only fair, they're going to play better when they're confident. For me, a player you cannot have that his performances revolve around his confidence is a goalkeeper. You just can't afford that. And he was massively a confidence player. You could tell his confidence was down, his body language, his head was down in that. He was conceding left and right. You can't afford to be a confidence goalkeeper at Rangers. You need to be nuts in a way. You get your McGregors, your Closses, successful keepers. You need somebody that can just get on with it, regardless of how they're feeling. And I'm hoping that's what he brings.
Aye, you're absolutely spot on, mate. And Todd McGregor, he's actually back now as a goalkeeping coach. Not sure he's got his badges, but he's back in some capacity, a goalkeeping coach, which is always a bonus. But we'll move on. So the big one, I don't think we need to talk too much about, was Lon Shankland. Obviously, Hearts captain, leader, Rangers man. Happy with that. You've been talking about this for years now, wanting Shankland, didn't you? So you must be in the mood with that.
You know how much I value Shankland as a player. I've been saying even well before Hearts, he's a player we should go for. And I know when you're scoring at lesser clubs or a lesser level, he can get overlooked. But for me, Shankland has scored goals at every club he's been at. I see absolutely no reason why he won't score goals for Rangers. And I'll go beyond that. For me, the current team, he's my captain. And I do emphasise current team because, you know, there's a player or two that I'd like to get that could be captain, aka Lewis Ferguson. But as it stands, that's not going to happen, so we'll not talk about that. But for me, he's captain, and I'm really happy. He's actually the marquee signing for me. I'm buzzing we've got him. I can't wait to see him play in blue.
Aye, same. I think one of the things that gets overlooked with Shankland, he talks about his finishing. I think his link-up play for Hearts last year, he always drops back. He can drop back to the 10 and spring attacks there. And I thought that was really smart play. Not just going to score leadership, but he can also link up the play for the midfield forward. And I think that was quite good because what I found with Rangers, if we're going to persist with a 4-4-2, which we'll touch on the kind of style, is two strikers need to play together. And last year, I think Nadiri was a man to play with somebody, but I felt that Majowski and Chermiti, they were too similar. It didn't work. So I think Shankland will definitely be able to, if Chermiti's there's a big if, I would like to see that. So I think that'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm. I feel like a player like Shankland could really benefit Chermiti. Chermiti's a bit like a maverick. You don't know what he's gonna pull at the bag. But Shankland's used to the league, he scores goals. I really think they could play off each other. I'm excited to see it. For that reason, I hope Chermiti stays. Obviously, price tag dependent. I mean, if we get silly money, he needs to go. But I'd love another season. I'd love to see them play together.
No, definitely. I mean, I think a lot of Rangers fans in the same boat. But it was the ending of the season, or the second half of the season, that Chermiti really got gone into. And I think he had more goal contributions than Braga, believe it or not.
He did.
But so we'll move on. We won't touch on too much. But Ross McCrory. So Ross comes back, touted as a future Rangers captain by Steven Gerrard. Does he start right back, or is he backup?
Well, it's dependent on Sterling because I do like Sterling as a player. I think everybody likes a fit Sterling as a player, but a fit Sterling's a rare thing because he can rarely string a 5 games together. But I think it's an appropriate backup if Sterling stays fit, which is a big if. And if he doesn't, we probably need another right back. So if he gets another long-term injury, we can't be dependent on Ross McCrory.
No, I agree again, mate. But I'm just, why did he get the number 2? I think why would he not get to Sterling if he's going to be the star? Maybe looking at it too much, and time will tell.
Good point. I never considered that he got number 2. I forgot about
that. On to the next one. Say again?
I don't mind it though. I don't mind giving him the chance to start. People claim he's a better player. I'll be honest, I didn't see too much of him at Bristol, but we'll see. We'll soon find out.
Going off topic, he scored yesterday in the closed door friendly with Raith Rovers in the 5-1 win.
That's right.
Next player, Ben Godfrey. So I think we'll probably have a difference of opinion. This is split a lot of Rangers fans with myself. What's your opinion on Ben Godfrey coming on loan from Atalanta?
So obviously, this could be classed as the controversial signing at the 5. I've seen a lot of mixed messages. For me, it's low risk, high reward. And I know you can talk about loan fees, etc. We don't know the loan fee. We don't know if there is one, or if there is, how much it is. For me, it's a loan player with an option to buy. If he performs well, brilliant. We've got a good player for probably a low price. And if he doesn't, then he takes up a wage and nothing more. I don't mind. The calibre of players don't usually work for us, I'll be honest, but I don't mind giving it a try. If we can get Ben Godfrey at his best, we're getting a cracking defender.
Aye, I've got ex-England internationalist. No, you're right. I'm just worried about his injuries. I mean, he only played 18 games last year, and that was the most he's played in 3 years. However, you're right, you're saying, I think time will tell that one. It's a big question mark over that. But it is low risk, high reward. So wait and see. And then the biggest one I'm excited about here, right, is Dan Neil. So I've actually, like yourself, got a few Sunderland season ticket holder friends through work. And they told me last year about Daniel, about he'd be really good as a Rangers sign because he's now because he can't get in the Sunderland team because he's Xhaka. He's floating about, he's run out of contract. So I started to look into him, watch him a wee bit. He's a very good player, number 6, can connect the play for defence to midfield, does the diagonal runs. Maybe not the heaviest player, but very good technical player. What's your opinions on him?
Well, you know, similar to you, so I stay in South Shields, which is like the Glasgow, the North East. It's half Newcastle, half Sunderland. I've been talking about Dan Neil for a while, because we've had links for at least 12 months now. And people have says, I mean, the cliche saying now, he'll cause it in Scotland, as they always...
He talks well, is another good one.
I I'm sick of both of these statements. But people do still say them. But a lot of people have says that he should do well in Scotland. But the difference is, this isn't a guy in his 30s. He's coming up here for his last payday. This is a leader. Is he 24? That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, 24.
24 years of age. He's only played for Sunderland. He's still got something to prove. He's not going there at the twilight of his career. He's not going there for money. He's going there to play. And that excites me more than the rest of them.
And does that put an end to the speculation for Elliot Watt?
As much as it pains me to say so, I think it does. I do.
$2 million apparently bids for a Turkish side now to get him in the cheap.
Cannot believe we've not got our noses in amongst that. Really, really surprised. Every time I watched him last season, he was one of the best players on the park, if not the best player. Dictating the midfield, spraying passes about, forward passes as well. Just a really entertaining player in a midfielder that we've lacked for a while. But, well, I'm not a scout, so it's not up to me. But
yeah, I know. Time will tell that one as well. I don't think Dan Neil's any worse after him anyway. Just hope he can transfer his ability when he was just captain of Sunderland over to Rangers. So moving on then, just overall, Derek McInnes as a man, as a manager. What are you going to say about McInnes?
I like McInnes. I've valued him as a manager for a while. When he knocked us back, or they say he knocked us back, I'm not too sure what actually happened, but I was quite disappointed we never got him. But obviously the timing wasn't right. We've got him now. I like his style. I'm so glad we've got a Rangers manager as well. Been a while since that's happened.
Aye, and it's the first manager that's come in that I've actually seen an identity being shaped so strong and so fast. You know, everybody else would have transfers, bring players in, and you never really knew they were unknown that, but he's bringing in leaders and guys who can handle pressure when he looks at it. And it's exciting.
Leaders, just hunters of leaders. I love it though. I'm all for it. It's what we need though. It's something we've lacked. I mean, even Tavernier, like, he had so much weight in his shoulders because he was a captain at right back right away. That's like an unorthodox position to be captain. He was leading with his numbers. We had no other leaders. Like, we didn't do well trophy wise, but he led, and now he's gone. That's a massive void to fill. So I'm glad that we're just trying to replace that with as many leaders as possible.
His goals and assists are not a big one to replace.
You can't replace that really. I don't think it is replaceable, but if we can just get something that can be solid and fill his numbers in for the
I mean, you'll not replace it, but I'm a defender anyway. That'll not happen again in my lifetime.
I feel like people genuinely won't value. People do value Tav, but it will. That's another saying, they won't value him until he's gone. Who was it that said that? Next player? Goldson. Yeah.
Who's also a free transfer now, by the way.
Oh, nah, that's...
You know.
You know, I don't mind going back the way, but no Goldson.
Yeah, you know.
PTSD.
Or he might have just signed for another separate team, actually.
I think he did, actually, because he said he's always preferred blue, didn't he?
Yep. So McInnes' style then, not just overall, let's look at his managerial style. So one of the things that Jan put me for last season, obviously it's very recent in memory, his Hearts team. First stat what I use here is, do you know they never lost one game at Tynecastle? They lost on penalties in the Cup. They never lost a single game at Tynecastle.
See, that's brilliant, that.
What a stat.
Teams as well, that's a fortress.
And you listen to guys like McCrory and that, and he always says he gets a siege mentality. It's everybody against us, and that's exactly what's required at Rangers, isn't it?
100%. I want Ibrox to become a proper fortress again, where teams don't fear coming to Ibrox that they used to.
Nah, no. But in his individual qualities, Samaj here, I think adaptability. So one of the things last season that I was surprised with Hearts is against like the bigger games, the Old Firm, they would surrender possession, playing a counter, as most teams would. But yet, when they played the lesser teams, they dominated the ball. So they're adapting game by game. It was good to see that.
Oh, 100%. Probably the most adaptable manager in the league. He's played against Celtic, Rangers, got results, finished second, brilliant season. And to be honest, I think should have won the league.
Should have won.
Controversial penalty against Motherwell. We'll no slander the referees too much this early in the podcast, but he was very unlucky, 100%, and I'm glad he's here.
Yeah, and the next one I just want to touch on is structure and discipline. So he's emphasised the organisation, work rate, a very compact shape, strong defensively, and good pressing for the midfield. Obviously, had a few key players to help aid with that. And one of the things I think is interesting, people always talk about Jamestown Analytics. A lot of the guys, minus Braga, was all his guys who were implementing this style. It was Finlay, it was Halkett, it was Devlin, Beningame. was all guys, hadn't we brought in these analytics? I think that was all down to Derek McInnes.
100%. The Jamestown patter does get proper regurgitated, but see, to be honest, see if you take Braga away for that team, people don't talk about Jamestown half as much as they do just now.
Aye, I know. They're mad. I've got a couple of Hearts fans, and that's the thing. They say for every 10 players they buy, 7 of them are wasted and they're nadies.
Aye, well, there you go.
But they get these guys in cheap though, don't they? That's the whole point.
That's the thing. It's getting them cheap and turning it, which is a big thing in Scotland, especially as a club that's outside the top two. You need to be making profit.
And the next one, attack approach. So it's something I love, right? It never happened in modern football, but playing with 2 strikers. McInnes last season, by all accounts, apart we lined up with a 4-4-2 in that Closed-door friendly. So by all accounts, we're going same 4-4-2, 2 strikers. Wingers that are direct, that don't turn in, they take the man on, get down, but they can cut in as well. They utilise set pieces. I think they had the joint most set piece goals with us. Obviously, we've since lost and so the set piece coach, but that's something that I think he'll bring. And I think it's a style that suits Rangers. We need to be aggressive on the front foot. No, just keep the 100 ball for the sake of it. Like Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, just that horseshoe football. Hard to watch.
Yeah, 100%. I love the 2 strikers up top. It's old school, but it works in Scotland. And just before McInnes was announced, see when it was McInnes and Gerrard were in the running, I was happy with both. But a thought of mine was, if Gerrard does come in, he plays 1 striker, usually 4-3-3. And funnily enough, at all the positions we're rich in just now, we're doing not too bad for strikers. We've got Miovski, Nadiri, Chermiti and Shanklin. That's a cracking front line.
Aye. No, so who's your pairing? Obviously, you've got to say Shanklin and...
It needs to be Shanklin and Chermiti, but I do think that's a disservice to Nadiri because he done nothing wrong. He was playing brilliant before his injury, but I'd like to see if we could get him in there somewhere. I mean, if you can imagine Nadiri, Chermiti and Shanklin on that pitch, that is an exciting front line.
It would be good to see, wouldn't it? I think it was just a shame for them. He came injured, and then I think maybe potentially rushed himself back, injured again, but you could clearly see some good attributes there. Direct, running, stuff that probably McInnes looks for in an attacker. So that will be an interesting one. And so just with that, with the signings was discussed and the manager style, I just want to talk 2 links here. We've already mentioned one already, but the boy Dragojevic, I'm probably saying his name wrong. Dragojevic, the Serbian, Partizan Belgrade, 20-year-old captain.
Yeah.
Is he the type of player that takes that Rangers midfield to the next level, do you think, or is that a project?
See, I don't know. Is this just a rumour, or is there any confirmation this yet?
So a bid's been in, and this is from Rangers Review. We've reported that a bid's been in, and Rangers are following him.
Right, okay. Well, I think that if we could get that over the line, I think that's a brilliant sign, and that's a statement of intent. That's a young captain at a well-established club, and on top of that, he's a crazy Serbian. Who doesn't want more of them?
No, 100%. If you're going to have Daniel in there, who's not going to be that guy, you need somebody else beside him who's going to be that guy, don't you?
Oh yeah, 100%. I like that. I like that mould of player, a crazy Serbian, right in the middle of the park as well. That's just where you want him.
And then it begs the question though, what do you do? Because we're quite heavy in the middle of the park now.
We need to lose players. Simple as that. We've got far too many. Raskin, you need to take specs off, surely.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't mind. I think it's probably about the perfect time.
Aye, I'm the same.
And then you've also got Connor Barron. Is there space for Connor Barron in this Rangers team?
Splits spilled into all energy in that, but just really lacks that bit of technical ability. I mean, yes, I would keep him about. He offers you something. Yes.
Do you know what's a shame? See, before he got that injury last season, it's the best I've ever seen him play.
I know.
In fact, I'm actually sure that it was early on mine, but he was actually in contention. We were saying maybe him, Butland, best players so far. He got that injury, came back, never had too many minutes, but he looked back to old Connor Barron in the limited minutes I've seen, running about, no much quality, wasteful passing, which is a shame because see if he never got injured, he could have really built on for there, but it just wasn't enough for me to merit. Yeah, I'd keep him as a squad player, but he's not a starter for me.
Mm-hmm. And before we get to the Lewis Rice link, what about Devlin? Would you take Devlin?
I would take Devlin. For me, he's just a direct upgrade in Barron. He's kind of like Barron, ability-wise, effort-wise, but he's also got that something about him. We've talked about this before. You need a bit of personality to play for Rangers. Devlin's got that. He'll wind up players no bother, lunging to tackles. He doesn't shy away.
That's what I remember from last season. he was fighting fires all over the park against us. He was a real fight with Tavernier, rolling about with Chermiti, and he was just all over the park. The energy was phenomenal for him.
Am I right in saying he's a free transfer now as well?
He is, aye, but the problem is it's another midfielder, innit?
As we need to lose in a few, we can't. But then saying that, we're still linked to a few. Like the two Partizan boys, we need to get rid of a few regardless.
I know, I can see the likes of Diamande, Asgard, potentially leaving.
Asgard's a strange one. See the amount of quality he's got, but I'll just never believe he's fitted for Scottish football.
Exactly. I was just talking to somebody on X about this. You can clearly see he's very, very technical, and he will be a good player somewhere, but it's just not really fitted to the pace of Scottish football, unfortunately.
Yeah, you can just tell watching him, it just doesn't combine well with it. But you can see the quality's there. He's dribbling in that, he's free kicks, he pops up with a goal, he plays for Norway, scores for Norway, but I just can't see it. Potentially, if we could get cash for him, you've seen the rumours, I don't know about the truth in them, but if we could get anything over 10 million, I'd bite your hand off for it.
I would actually had a conversation with somebody on X about this again. I don't see anywhere near the reported fees. I reckon if you're getting anywhere between 5 and 6 million, Rangers take it.
I probably would take 6 million. It's just when you see the rumours, don't you get carried away? 15 million. I'm accepting nothing less than 10, but you need to be realistic.
This is like the Celtic days, mate, like the Dembele dollars, remember? 50 million. And then the next one, the last link I'm going to speak about, Lewis Ferguson. You brushed it there. Do you think he would want to come? Right, so there's two questions. Do you think he'd want to come? And do you think we'd be able to get him?
Personally, I think he would want to come. He's a boyhood Rangers fan, and I think if we get him in, he's captain. And I don't know anybody that would disagree with that. The chance, growing up as a Rangers fan, imagine being told you could go and captain your club. That's a dream. That's a dream for any fan. I think that sells itself. For me, it's more the financial side that's going to be the struggle.
Well, his dad, Derek, always took on very vocal note and goal about how he loves Rangers and he never miss a game there and that. But so I'm going to play devil's advocate this year because I've got a different opinion a wee bit. One, do I think he wants to come? I don't really think so. When it comes to it, I mean, obviously he's a Rangers man, he would be captain and he loves Rangers, right? But I just mean he's got aspirations. He stated before, that he wants to play in England. And then I think recent weeks his agents come out and says he sees himself in the top 5 leagues.
Yeah.
So if he comes back to Scotland to start playing away at, like, no disrespect, at St Mirren and all these like type teams, that's gone. That ambition's gone. So I think he's quite an ambitious guy. He's good enough. So I just don't see when it comes to it. If he's got other offers, I don't think the lure cause Rangers club. I think he would go with his head rather than his heart. And as for will we be able to get him, would it be viable? Again, see when you need to strengthen that many positions. I just don't think, especially with the fee it's been touted, 17 million, that. I know you could say, but what if we sell X, Y, and Z? Potentially, I just don't see Rangers spending that much money on one player.
That's a lot of money.
When it's a big rebuild.
Even if we sell X, Y, and Z, that money could still be going on other players. Like, to sell that and to spend that amount on Lewis Ferguson. I mean, don't get me wrong, obviously I've got this American money, it would be massively exciting, but I just can't see you spending it. I mean, when we spent that money in Chermiti, people nearly had heart attacks.
I know, exactly, I know. And on the Chermiti thing, obviously he's linked away. I believe I might be wrong here, I can't really find it anywhere, but it's rumoured that it's a 30% selling.
I've heard that prior to these rumours. I heard that when we first got him. I heard it was a big sell on.
That's not very good at all. No happy with that.
That's why I've seen the fee being touted like 17 million. Some people saying cash in, cash in. If we get 17 million, I'm not going to attempt the maths in this, but 30% after what we spent, they're talking not a lot of profit for a player of that calibre.
I know. No. But we could do a full podcast on each one of these players and that, but we'll wrap up there for the first podcast. X, thanks so much for joining us. And troops, if you're on X, follow the X account. It's capital T and it's the Rangers Wire #1. Everything else is small case. Thanks very much. And going forward, there'll be pre and post match podcasts. Thanks for listening, guys. Dex.